This is Dragonette. This is an article that I'm finding that has been going on for a long time, big issue. The National Guard has been deployed as Biden opens floodgates to illegal immigrants. Okay, we've got all the illegal immigrants here, and the videos that I have on here are following up with this story. Texas National Guard has been deployed after Joe Biden's administration opened the floodgates to illegal immigrants by cutting the Lone Star State's razor wire. Republican Governor Greg Abbott confirmed the decision to bring the National Guard to the U.S.-Mexico border on social media. Okay, he says Texas installed razor wire in Eagle Pass to stop illegal crossings. Today, the Biden administration cut that wire, opening the floodgates to illegal immigrants. I immediately deployed more Texas National Guard to repel illegal crossings and install more razor wire. Abbott added, I officially declared an invasion at our border because of Biden's policies. He deployed the Texas National Guard, DPS, and local law enforcement. We are building a border wall, razor wire, and marine barriers. We are also repelling migrants. Homeland Security has also sent 800 troops to assist the Texas National Guard. This Texas governor's comments come after much sparring between Austin and Washington. The Department of Justice sued Texas in July after the Lone Star State installed the buoy barrier on the Rio Grande. Washington and Austin have been battling the situation in courts. Okay, there is a video. Don't know if I can get it to play. Let's see what this says.
As those border crossings increase, the government is taking action to help already strained cities, with the administration announcing Wednesday it's offering temporary protected legal status to about 500,000 Venezuelan migrants. So that means that 472,000 Venezuelan migrants who arrived in the United States before July 31st will now be able to live and work here legally as they wait for those asylum cases to be heard in court. Those cases can take about 1 to 2 years to play out. Now, the goal is to expedite work authorization so the migrants can pay their own way and take pressure off of states and the federal government to feed and house them. The announcement comes as the White House continues, like we said, to grapple with a growing number of people fleeing Venezuela and other South American countries. The number of arrests by the Border Patrol has been rising since the start of September, as you see here. And according to DHS, so is the number of attempted illegal crossings. That surge, again, prompting Homeland Security to add about 800 additional active duty personnel to the border. They will join 2,500 state National Guard personnel, 24,000 Customs and Border Patrol agents, 500 law enforcement officers, and then you have about nearly 3,000 officers there who aren't in uniform. And as the situation at the border intensifies in New York, things have reached a boiling point. This week on Staten Island, anti-asylum seeker protesters blocked a city bus that was thought to be carrying migrants, with the NYPD taking 10 people into custody there, including for charges, including assault against an officer. Now, over the past year, about 60,000 of the 470,000 Venezuelans being granted TPS have come to New York. That is according to the New York City Council. And last night, New York Governor Kathy Hochul on CBS said the intent of New York's right to shelter was never an unlimited universal invitation to the world. Listen.
Obviously, there's a lot of competing interests. You have to be certain that you're not going to take support a policy that's going to draw more people, because places like New York really are at capacity. We have large hearts. You want to be generous and supportive to people who are experiencing a humanitarian crisis, but there is a limit to what we can do.
And Hochul also said she met with the president to press the White House for more help on the federal level. Alex.
Mara, thank you.
Okay, so the issue is that our country is just about full. Okay, we'll go on. Democratic State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who is running to replace Ted Cruz on Capitol Hill, is backing Biden's push to roll back on buoys. He said the citizens and community of Eagle Pass are fighting back against the inhumane treatment of migrants under Operation Lone Star. Texans want real solutions to address border security and reform our broken immigration system. The days of Cruz's negligence must come to an end. A record-breaking 2,378,944 migrants crossed the south border during the last fiscal year. However, there have already been 1,973,092 during 2023, and that's just through July. Now, my comment is, yes, we are a country built on immigrants, and we should allow immigrants into the country. The problem that we're having is that the country is so full now, we don't have places to put people that have actually been born in America. We've got to slow down on the immigration process. I understand that we're all from immigrants, and we need to try and help as many as possible. But when is enough enough? When you're bringing in that many people to places where there are no homes for the ones that are already here, what do? You have to stop at some point. I understand that those other countries have issues, but bringing everyone into this country is not going to help the other countries to make peace with their own citizens. I don't know the solution. I'm just bringing this information to you. The border has become populated. It is just a big mess, and Biden has opened the gates to allow all of the immigrants in, and then you've got these states like Texas who are trying to keep order and make them go through the legal status of becoming a citizen. And I want to thank everyone for listening to my report. This is Dragonette. Thank you.
So tonight, another influx of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, there's no clear reason as to why, but here's what we do know. The people who are arriving here, they've been traveling for months.
Yeah, what you're watching is drone video that shows that large group of people crossing the Rio Grande today near Eagle Pass. Our Jonathan Cotto actually spoke to a migrant as he reached U.S. soil.
¿De dónde vienen? Venezuela. De Venezuela. ¿Qué tan largo el trayecto?
Demasiado. Duro.
¿Cuántos meses? ¿Cuántos días?
2 meses. Yo 2 meses, hermano.
Those migrants said they're from Venezuela. It took them 2 to 3 months to get here. The mayor of Eagle Pass issuing an emergency declaration. It allows the city to request additional resources and take certain, quote, emergency protective measures, end quote. Border Patrol told KSAT off camera that migrants are being bused to processing centers where they will be interviewed. Tonight, San Antonio feeling the effects of what's happening in Eagle Pass and beyond.
Now, some of the people crossing in the past few days are already here, hoping that the city of San Antonio can help take care of them. The night team's John Paul Barajas went to the Migrant Resource Center on San Pedro and spoke to people who had just arrived.
Over the past few days, thousands of migrants arrived in Eagle Pass, and already some of them are at the Migrant Resource Center here in San Antonio. We don't know where all these migrants are from or when they got here, but this man and his daughter got to San Antonio today from Eagle Pass. I asked, when you got here, how are things inside? He said, we haven't even made it inside. Why would I lie? We just got here. He didn't want to reveal his identity. When we spoke with him, he wasn't sure how long it would take him to get inside the building. But a Venezuelan migrant who arrived last night says it took him nearly half a day. I got here at 11 last night, he said. I asked, but when did you get inside? Not until 9 in the morning, so like 9-10 hours, he added. Catholic Charities runs a center. It sent us a statement saying, in the past month, it's seeing more migrants. Workers there are seeing about 750 people per day, but the center can only hold up to 700. Empty charter and school buses stopped at the center throughout the day and picked people up. We asked where they were being taken. Catholic Charities said, quote, likely the airport. I got a bed. I got 3 beds because I have my wife and my 3 boys, said the migrant we spoke to who arrived last night. He says he feels lucky. Not all who stayed overnight have beds. Many slept behind dumpsters or even in ditches. Thank God that I'm here because everyone has a dream or a mission. But there's a lot of migrants that are coming, he said. And back out here, it's 10 o'clock at night and migrants are still arriving. Just a few minutes ago, we saw a blue double-decker bus pull in. It looked to be either mostly full or completely full. Now, there was also some smaller buses that came in after that were completely empty, so potentially busing some people out before the night's over. That is yet to be seen. And lots of people here inside the gates of the Migrant Resource Center just hanging out, waiting. We spoke to a few men that were standing here a few moments ago, said that they were here since 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were still waiting to see if they were going to be one of the lucky ones that would get a bed tonight. Obviously, they're still waiting. Other people have already made other plans, getting a spot and claiming a spot here on the street. Many of them putting down a piece of cardboard just to give them some type of cushion instead of just being directly on the concrete. And across the street from the Migrant Resource Center at the CC's Pizza, all those people right there, they're migrants. They're all just hanging out, waiting, trying to figure out what their next move will be. Many of them trying to get food with whatever little money they have. A lot of them just pesos, regardless of where they came from. A lot of them come to Mexico and don't have a lot of money. Now, we're waiting to see how many people will actually stay here tonight or how many people will actually be inside. That is to be determined. As you see, lots of people out here. Now, we also told you about the little bit of information from the Catholic Charities. We also reached out to the city and the county by phone to see how they're planning to address this migrant influx. We have not heard back yet. At the Migrant Resource Center, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thanks for that live shot. I drove by that area earlier tonight, and there were a lot of people inside the gates, but just as many outside as well. And as you heard, some of the migrants both John Paul and Jonathan Cotto spoke to today are from the country of Venezuela. Earlier tonight, the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary announced that eligible Venezuelan nationals may qualify for temporary protected status, but that is only available to those who are in the U.S. before July 31st. Homeland Security says the 18-month temporary protected status is based on Venezuela's instability and lack of safety.
Today we worked alongside our local law enforcement counterparts, and then towards the evening portion of our shift, we went ahead and showed up at a known stash house, which we then apprehended 17 migrants. It was a very, very, very small house. Like we said, 17 of them were in the house. The house was very, very filthy. Living conditions were very poor. There was no running water. Matter of fact, they had about a 55-gallon drum in the shower that they were using as toilet water. They weren't the only people that have stayed at that home at one point or another.
A local called in to Crime Stoppers, and the address given to Crime Stoppers was a known address. It was incredibly important. We wouldn't have known that they were there had the local not given us a phone call. And since there was such a large number of people, it was probably multiple load-ups throughout the day that have happened all over Laredo.
I 100% with certainty can say we are making a difference here at Operation Lone Star. We have been told by law enforcement that we are their force multiplier here, that without our presence here, their job would not be able to be completed like it is right now.
Well, today we assisted BP and DPS with preventing illegal crossing of the U.S.-Mexico border. So far it's been not as busy as it usually is, so I guess that's a good thing, keeping illegal crossing down greatly in this area. I do believe the Texas Army National Guard is making a difference in this area. When I first came out here 2 years ago, this area was very hot with activity, with illegal crossing and drug smuggling. Since now, from 2 years ago, the numbers of illegal crossing and drug smuggling have greatly decreased from what I've seen.
I am Timothy Keene. I am a sergeant with the Nebraska National Guard. We've had to do some repairs in the fences, whether that's grabbing new chains of Constantine wire or breaking out a sledgehammer and the steel stake that you can see behind me and all around, hammering those in. We're trying to deter the migrants to cross legally, but that's not always the case. We get reports of where people are at, whether it's at a point or over the radio. We just head over there, see what we can do.
My name is Specialist Holder Aaron. I'm with Task Force West Golf Company in El Paso, Texas. I'm here at Big 23. This is Mexico. About 5 minutes ago or so, we had a group of 20 migrants, but they came running down from the Mexico side, through the water, underneath the sea wire. We'll tell them not to cross. Sometimes they'll still cross, and we get them taken care of after the fact. But as of right now, the fence is really secure, especially the top level, multiple layers of sea wire. And yeah, I mean that's the first thing that's happened today. And the fence, it's a pretty good symbol. It means you can't take this way anymore. And they've probably taken this way before, and they might be used to it. It's to make sure that they're going about the immigration process legally.